Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casillejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And boy, once again, we got a lot to talk about. Can you believe it?
Is wild, y'all. I cannot believe how much Taylor Swift has taken over. Can y'all? Who's watching football?
Her world domination.
Oh my goodness. I mean, literally, this is the first thing that TikToker Jake Dayton saw when he turned on the game.
Turned on a football game of my own free will for the first time in my life, and this is the first thing that I saw.
And yeah, she's here. Taylor is in the house.
But what's crazy is when I paused it, I noticed what the progress bar looked like. Hello? I have never seen this before on my television. What is her power?
Nick, what was it that he saw whenever you would pause?
So on YouTube TV, whenever you would pause it, normally there's just like a little dot, like on the progress line at the bottom of the screen. Mm-hmm. There's normally just a little dot, but this time it was almost like an emoji of a heart with hands made out of hands, like what Taylor and her fans do.
Yeah.
Heart hands.
Heart hand emojis.
On Sunday Night Football.
Yes.
Are we surprised? I think Swifties are not surprised by this. I think the rest of the world is. I think the Swifties are sitting back saying,
Of course.
It's about time. Of course this happens.
I'm just glad that people are finally recognizing how powerful she is. Like, we've known this. We have known her power, her influence. But I'm glad that people can finally just, like, see it. And it's like, we've been telling you. We've been telling you this.
So how great is it, within recently, Taylor is... Her streaming numbers are off the chart. So she's always setting records there. Her album sales records are off the chart, always setting records there. Then, all of a sudden, we get the Eras Tour. She's setting so many records. It's most likely going to go on to be the biggest tour of all time. And then, it's going to make her a billionaire. And then, she's completely dominating movie theaters. Yeah. She's releasing a movie that's having just insane numbers. It's record-setting pre-sale numbers for her movie. Now,
not only that, it's a movie that we've all seen.
Exactly.
Many, many, many times. This isn't something brand new. This was a live recording of the Eras Tour that I watched in whole while it was streaming. And it was great. And I'm excited to watch it again.
And now, she's taking over one of the biggest businesses in the entire world, the NFL.
Yeah.
Sports.
Let's talk about how Taylor coded the NFL was last night, yesterday, whenever the game was. They flashed a sign that said Cornelia Street on TV. Cornelia Street. I feel like everybody is now acknowledging that Taylor is everything, that Taylor can simply influence the NFL to use her song, Welcome to New York. Because, I mean, she was in New York, right? Or were they just playing New York?
But that's the thing.
I know
they didn't even use Taylor's version of Welcome to New York.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Now, in case people thought that this was a publicity stunt, because some people are wondering, like, wow, this is so Taylor Swift coded. But to those non-believers who think that this is just some gigantic publicity stunt, which, let's remember, this is Taylor Swift's life, not a publicity stunt, okay? But here is your 5 holes in the fence, holes in your story, about why this is absolutely not a publicity stunt.
For anyone saying that the whole Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing is a PR stunt set up between Taylor's team and the NFL for marketing purposes, I would just like to highlight that if they were in a partnership, while I agree that the use of Taylor in today's advertising was a lot, if they were in partnership, they wouldn't be using the Welcome to New York stolen version. They'd be using Welcome to New York Taylor's version. Why would she work with someone and have them use a version of her song that's stolen? They wouldn't. That doesn't make sense. Because every time that song is streamed, she's not getting her cut. So just think about that. If you know anything about Taylor Swift and you know anything about Taylor's version, That wouldn't make sense. So whether or not you think her and Travis are dating, that's fine, but there's no way she's in partnership with the NFL. I don't buy it. I do believe that she denied access of using her songs last weekend and that this weekend they're using the stolen versions.
Okay, so I'm confused because she still has the right to say you can't use my past work. So how could they use it without her saying yes?
Well, at least on social media, it was deleted.
Okay.
After people started asking if it was Taylor's version.
Yeah, because she still does retain those rights. It's just other people also have rights to the song too, so she just blanket says no. So I'm wondering how they could get away with using it. Maybe they used it without her consent.
I don't know, or maybe
so.
it was just on social media, because if it was on TV, maybe it was Taylor's version. I mean, they used Bad Blood Taylor's version in a movie, and that's not out yet. You know, it's possible that it was, but on social media, when people started asking, is this Taylor's version, they deleted it.
That was Claire Miles, by the way, who pointed that out on TikTok. So I did think that was a very interesting point because, yeah, they shouldn't be using something that's not Taylor's version. And we know that, but not everybody's a Taylor Swift fan. She's getting new fans now because of this crossover. I just think it's crazy that these two worlds are colliding like that. That's something that none of us ever saw coming. Also, MetLife Stadium gave up light-up bracelets before the game. Did y'all see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the big light-up bracelets. I didn't watch the game. I have no idea what happened during the game. I didn't even know who won until Ty13 on TikTok let me know. That was one of the first things that he said was, who won? And I didn't write it down. I think it was
Chiefs.
Taylor's team.
The Chiefs did.
Yeah,
Taylor's team.
Taylor's team won.
Taylor's team.
Yeah, but I didn't know who had won before then. I was getting caught up on everything else that was happening with Taylor Swift yesterday and not game details.
I gotta say, when it does come to the marketing, I feel like there was a missed opportunity because there was a Travis Kelce commercial. Why was the next commercial not a Taylor Swift commercial, or vice versa? Why aren't they?
They played the commercial for her movie a lot.
But back to back with Travis Kelce's commercial, I'm saying you have to play them both back to back.
Oh,
I just feel like that's an easy thing. Like where are you at, Capital One? Throwing that commercial with all the Taylors and stuff. I will say that I could not have picked a better suite to hang out in.
Okay, so let's talk about who all was there yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's in her 1989 Me and My Squad era, right? That's what we're all feeling. So who all showed up to the game with her? I mean, this is A-list. This is just greatness. I want to be there, even at a football game. Who was it, Nick?
So you had Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Wonderful. Hugh Jackman, who is just one of my favorite celebrities ever. Sophie Turner was there. Sabrina Carpenter was there. Brittany Mahomes was there.
She wore a shirt that said, Sabrina Carpenter wore a shirt that said Sports Watcher.
that's
And
cute.
now
pretty funny.
I want a shirt that says Sports Watcher.
That's cute.
But you don't.
Exactly.
When I was looking around at pictures, was Abigail there also? Because I thought I saw a girl with like red curly hair like in the background, but I didn't get any confirmation on anything.
I didn't see her,
Okay.
but I also saw Melanie, who works with Taylor on tour.
Her backup singer.
Her brother, Austin Swift, was there with his girlfriend, I believe. The funny thing about Sabrina Carpenter being there is her height difference between Taylor and Sabrina is because Taylor's tall and Sabrina's short. And when Taylor was walking in, going through security, and she was like saying hi to people, and I like saw like the back of Sabrina's head, but I didn't know it was her at the time because I didn't know she was there.
You're like, what kid came?
Well, I was like, oh, somebody must have brought their daughter or something. And then I was like, oh, that's Sabrina Carpenter. As soon as she hugged her, I was like, and I saw the height difference. I was like, oh.
Anthony was there from Queer
Right.
Eye.
Anthony
You see his head poking out from shoulders every now and then in some pictures.
Which friends do you think were like, hey, can I come? But they're like, sorry, we ran out of space.
And who's the biggest sports icon who was there? Brittany Mahomes. That
Icon?
well, I mean, she's pretty legendary, right? In that female circle of the sport. I hear about Brittany Mahomes. I don't necessarily hear about her husband. now
Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick, thank you. I don't necessarily hear about him, but if Brittany Mahomes is going out, I might see something about her. She was there
Yeah,
with them. I mean, that's like work wives getting along together. I mean, I know that's way pushing it for Taylor and her new relationship, but you know what I mean. She's getting in good with the girls of the team.
Yeah, and Brittany was out to dinner the night before too with Taylor, with all these people. The night before too.
Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, you guys, I might have accidentally pissed off the football bros on TikTok.
How?
So at the Perot Museum here in Dallas, there's this like exhibit type thing that they have where it's like this giant screen up on a wall. And the whole purpose is to see if you can race up against a T-Rex, like how you would race next to a T-Rex. And then they added a bunch of other people you can race against, and a bunch of them are Olympians, pro athletes, like, people that would run really fast. And one of them is Patrick Mahomes. And so when I was there recently, I got a video of me running up against Patrick Mahomes. It's like a 4-second video on TikTok, or a 4-second video. And I uploaded it to my TikTok page. And I captioned it because you know how as Swifties we used to have that running joke of like, can Joe Alwyn fight? You know how we would
For
do
sure.
that? So I captioned it like, I know Travis Kelce can fight, but I had to make sure I could take on Patrick Mahomes. That was what I captioned it, thinking the Swifties would see the video like, haha, LOL. No, there's not a single Swiftie in that comment section. It made it to the sports side, and every single man that sees that video needs to let me know that I lost that
Yeah,
race.
you lost. False start. You lost. Skull emoji. She doesn't know she lost.
Yeah. Thanks for the
How'd you
engagement on the
lose
video,
that
boys.
slowed down version?
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
but you started before him.
Thank
Girl
you.
jumped early and still lost. False start. But he's in pads. Mahomes def won. Y'all tripping.
They
False
are
start.
so bothered by this 4-second video of me racing against a fake Patrick Mahomes. So bothered that it has 1.7 million views. Okay.
Wow.
But, so Ryan was saying that I should go into the comments and respond to everybody being like, actually, I won. Like, I clearly lost, but it'd be like, actually, I won, or like, pretty sure I won.
My girl math, I won.
Actually, I just watched the video and I think I won, just to like piss them off a little bit more. But I mean, hey, thanks for the million views.
Yeah, right?
That's funny.
Thanks for the comments and the engagement and the shares, y'all.
And what's your handle?
At AnnaZabo13.
Well,
I just find it really funny.
We all just need to remember that we have new fans now on both sides. This is just completely two different worlds colliding, such as here's somebody who went to a game for the first time ever. This might be what you can hear from a new NFL fan in attendance. This is JoJo Hadid on TikTok.
I'm at the Jets-Kansas City game. I don't know what a down is. I don't know what I'm watching. But Taylor Swift is literally right there. So I don't really care.
Don't care.
I saw a picture of someone with the bejeweled Kelsey jersey, but they spelled it Kelsey.
That's really funny. Even better. That's not how you spell his name.
That's, yeah.
Maybe that's her name.
I thought that was adorable. I don't care. That's Spirit. I saw sparkle on that. That is Spirit, whose ever name it was, if it was meant for him or for her. I absolutely love it. Also, girl dads are now into this these days because they're happy. Sports or football, I guess I need to be more specific. It's not just sports anymore. Football has become a whole family activity.
I am so excited. My girls are finally interested in watching football with their dad. This is such a big deal for me.
That was Midwest Corn King on TikTok, and his little girls shrieked every time Taylor Swift came up on screen, which was often every time that they panned to her. Then the girls were excited.
So do we think, let's give this relationship the benefit of the doubt. Let's root for them. Everyone seems happy.
I
We
will
hope it
always
goes
root
the
for 'em.
distance. We hope it goes a long way. Let's say they're still together 2 years from now. Is Taylor still sitting front row at the suite for every football game, or will eventually she'll just kind of hang in the back of the suite or wait for him in the, like in a private room in the back? How long do you think she's going to be front and center for every game?
I don't know. I guess it depends on her schedule.
Sure does. Yeah.
You know, it depends on what she's got going on her end. But I think she clearly loves to be a supportive partner, and that's something that she wants as well. So I think if it makes her happy, she'll be front row center as long as she wants.
And I think a lot of people are catching up and getting sucked into all this hype because, like, this just doesn't happen in Taylor's world. To be so public so quickly with a relationship, and she's so happy. And, you know, everything she does is so planned out and well thought out, and she's really putting herself out there. She normally keeps these relationships so guarded, and now they're just putting it all out there. It's just kind of like taking everyone by surprise, and we're just holding on for dear life to see what happens next.
But this is very 1989 of her, because this is what she did during the first era. That's whenever she was out with her girl squad. They were attending award shows with her and stuff. So we've seen this before, and I don't know if it's Taylor just being Taylor or if it's Taylor recreating the era. Whatever she's doing, she's happy, and I love seeing her out and about. But as Swifties, we are told anything can be an Easter egg, down to her fingernail polish or what she's wearing. Well, Taylor and Blake Lively both wore rep-coded outfits over the weekend, and there's this big deep dive that Nikki King does talking about the names and descriptions that make this rep coded. But then that's what's fun about it as Swifties is I wasn't thinking about that at all. And then I'm scrolling Swift Talk today, and it's like, oh, well, this name was Mother Snake, or I'm saying it wrong. That's not what it is. But it also seems very, very intentional, every single thing that she's doing, because she tells us to watch out, and then you look and there's that connection. So go check out Nikki King. She breaks down what the girls are wearing and why that's very rep coded. But then what does that mean? We can only speak so much Taylor Swift, right? Someone who doesn't speak football maybe does speak Taylor Swift. I did see some women on TikTok asking what SNF was. They thought it was Swift Night Football, but it's actually Sunday Night Football to anyone else who wasn't familiar with football or football terms before now. I know Nick has been throwing them out a lot lately, but I hadn't heard him throw out a SNF.
You know, one of the things that's also really funny to me as we're talking about every single thing that she's doing, it seems like every time I'm seeing a new picture of her in the suite, people are like rotating who's sitting next to Taylor. Like sometimes it's Brittany Mahomes, and then 10 minutes later, it's Blake Lively. 10 minutes later, it's her brother. 10 minutes later, it's Hugh Jackman. Before the game, it was Sophie Turner. Oh, there's Sabrina Carpenter. It seems like, are people like taking shifts? Is there like a sign-up sheet in the back of the suite saying who's getting this? If
I was in that suite and Blake Lively has to get up and go to the bathroom, you best believe I'm snatching that seat up.
And I'm not leaving.
I was about to say, what if that was us? Would we give up each other's seat, or would somebody sit there stubbornly and like, no, I'm not moving. I'm not done with Taylor yet.
We would, hopefully we would all share the love, right? We each get 10-minute blocks.
But that is
13-minute blocks.
13. But that is a funny thought, because I know that Anna has thought about her position in a photo with Taylor Swift. She's thought about where she wants to stand.
100%.
And I love that. I think that's funny. Now, I have seen all the love for Taylor Swift as far as her going out and doing the football games now, but that's because I'm on Swift Talk and I'm not watching the games. Is she getting love from everybody? Do we see her getting any kind of hate? Like, we know NFL isn't saying bad stuff about her. They're kind of trying to capitalize on it. But other people aren't like, oh, this is too much Taylor Swift or anything, right?
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. If you're a football fan, you do not like this
just
at all.
over this?
Yeah, you're not a fan of this at all.
So I have seen her receiving nothing but love. But there is one person on TikTok that called Taylor out for her wrongdoing. This is top-level sports cards.
I don't mind Taylor being a fan. I don't. But Taylor, when we score touchdowns, we cheer and we drink beer. We don't hug it out. You got to get together. Watch Taylor, guys.
The Jersey King, back in his home state.
What is this? What's going on, man? It's like Are we having like an emotional girls moment, or are we watching football? Somebody get us schooled in how we cheer in football. We get crowd. We get rowdy.
So I don't know whose touchdown that was. That's why I left it in there. The Jersey kid back in his home state. So I don't know who that is, but whoever scored that touchdown, do y'all know who that is? Okay.
Nope.
Anyway, I thought it was a very funny observation. The only thing I would say, and I say this lovingly, not with any kind of hate, was I just wouldn't call it emotional, though. As females, we hate being called emotional. Like, normally that's used in a derogatory way. But I thought that was funny. I thought that was Taylor is giving everybody hugs whenever there's touchdowns.
You know,
She's loving.
I'll speak for guys here. I'm going to speak for every guy. For the ones that don't love what's going on, it's definitely probably hard for guys who are not music fans of Taylor Swift, right? They still think she's the girl from the Fearless era, and they just don't like her.
Or
right?
the girl from every article that was
the girl
written
from
about
every
her.
article, or their team Kanye, whatever it is. Obviously, there's lots of guys that are super anti-Taylor Swift. Take my word for it, with every conversation when a group of guys finds out that I'm on a Taylor Swift podcast and I get the dirty looks from them, whatever, I don't care. It's hard to see a very successful woman overshadow something that you love so much. Like, this is my thing. Football's my thing. Like, it's me and my boys. This is what we do. And then you get a very successful woman, and the game is no longer about your team. It's about her. And the public eye doesn't really care about your team. They care about someone else that is not involved in your area at all. So I think a lot of guys are triggered by it. A lot of guys are having a hard time.
But I think at the end of the day, the one to blame for that is the NFL and not Taylor. You know what I mean? Because Taylor showed up to a game, and that was it.
Taylor's not
She didn't
pushing
post
the buttons.
about it on social
Yeah.
media. She didn't do a single interview about it. She hasn't talked to anybody. All she has done is show up to a game and cheer on her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, whoever it is. The NFL is the one that cuts to her every 5 seconds. The
she's not pushing
NFL is
those
the one that
buttons.
changed her bio. The NFL is the one that made the little promo about it. The NFL is the one that changed the heart hands. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like, at the end of the day, yeah, I understand that they're mad that Taylor is on top, but it's
They
not.
shouldn't be mad at the NFL.
Yeah, that's
right.
their.
It's
That's
like
their.
exactly. It's she once again becomes the villain of the story for simply existing, and that is what really, really just irks me.
Yeah, Taylor's not making them sit there with a camera trained on her the entire game.
Yeah, she's simply just
Sorry, she's
attending.
fabulous.
Yeah, right?
Like, she's a successful woman, and that's what y'all hate her for.
Well,
but-
and the thing, just to add fuel to the fire of why people might not be loving this, football fans might not be loving this, the Kansas City Chiefs are very good. They are a very, very, very good team. Travis Kelce is one of the best players at his position in a very long time. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, is one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and he has been for, and he's been that way, and there hasn't been a quarterback like him in a very long time. The Chiefs are great, and Taylor's still overshadowing them. And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow for some people.
Well, to quote Travis Kelce, I did this to myself.
Very true. Very true.
But also, I mean, even if you don't understand Taylor Swift, maybe now's the time to take a step back and look into her, just like us as Swifties are kind of doing with the NFL. Some of us, I'm not quite there yet, but other people are giving football a chance. And Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's podcast, New Heights, is now #1. And they have this overnight female base who's now interested in, or maybe not even female base, just a different base that's now interested in hearing and learning more about what they have to say. And take this from a former non-believer's mouth, too. Nick Murdoch on TikTok shared that he begrudgingly went to the Eras tour, but now he's looking forward to the movie. Listen to this.
This one goes out to all my homies going to go and see the Taylor Swift movie on October 13th. I, too, used to be in a hostage Swiftuation. I was one of those husbands dragged along to go and see the Eras tour. And I got to tell you, having seen it, that was life-changing. I was a non-believer, but now I'm a Taylor Swift evangelist. That person is a genius. It was easily one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life, if not the. And I really think you guys are going to enjoy the movie. It's great. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I love it.
Yeah. So maybe you didn't understand her. Maybe you're going to the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie because someone's making you. But just go with an open mind and go and enjoy, and you will see what has captivated so many people that makes all the cameras want to be on her. Did y'all see someone was recording her at the game yesterday? She saw a fan recording her, acknowledged it, and gave her the heart hands.
Iconic.
Them. I'm saying her, but I mean gave them the heart. And it was so cute. That's like, I see you recording me. I see you. And instead of being mad it's just like love, man. I see my fan right there. All the love.
Miranda Lambert would never.
What?
You don't remember that story? There were people like taking a selfie at her concert, and she stopped her concert down and got real mad at them.
Oh yeah.
That's
What if she stopped the football game? Taylor Swift stops the game to call out fans.
Be pretty great.
That's a funny, Nick.
Hey, you know what? You're talking about Travis Kelce's podcast. Our podcast is doing all right. We're currently number 7 in the music charts
Awesome.
on Spotify for our podcast.
That's huge.
That's wonderful.
That is huge. I also hope, though, like, genuinely at the end of the day, that I hope she's okay, because having so many people watch you so intensely, every single move you make, every single gesture that you do, every single word you say, that's got to be daunting, you know? And she's talked a lot about before how sometimes she like just doesn't feel like a person. So I hope that the people she surrounds herself with, Blake Lively, Sophie Turner, you know, her home friends and stuff, like, I hope that they all are a good support system. And I'm sure they are. But I hope that she has that good support system. Like, she can't walk anywhere, go into her apartment, do anything without having so much security already. And now there's even more to that. Like, her security was doing a sweep of the stadium 5 days before the game even started, just to make sure that everything was going to be okay for her to show up. You know, so at the end of the day, I genuinely hope that she's okay.
But how powerful, though, to know all eyes are on you, to know that the whole world is captivated by you. She knows, and she's out there and she's having fun. So that's what I think is so incredible, that you can't argue her power at this point. Everybody's tuned into her. I do want to talk a little clownilia here for a second. We just mentioned the Eras Tour movie. Well, now we know that Taylor Swift is doing a world premiere screening in LA on October 11th. Do y'all have any thoughts about that?
We better be invited.
So how is she inviting people? There's word that she's going to be inviting people, and it's according to who listens to her the most on Spotify. Is that correct, or did I
haven't seen that.
I couldn't figure out if that was real or not.
Okay, I don't know if that's real or not, but there was a theory way back after she wrapped up her LA leg. She didn't do a goodbye post like she had done the rest of the time on her Eras tour. After she performed her sold out weekends, then a day or two or that night, she would say, "Thank you, Minneapolis, it was great," whatever. Throw Easter eggs in there. She never did that for LA, never said a thank you, never said a goodbye. Now she's out in public, real big reputation. She's all out there. 1989, that was a different album reference, but still 1989. Is she going to announce the double album release at the world premiere?
No.
That's what some people are saying, that she's going to announce that 1989 is going to be the double album, and she's going to announce what that second part is going to be in LA. No one else.
I don't think so, because like we've said before, she wants it to go number one, and she can't compete with herself, right?
Unless the double album
is sold
the
together.
extra album is sold together, if it's all included and as one sale. But if it's two completely separate albums, two different sales, which it could be, because if you're getting
but she's
20
already
songs,
selling. She's already selling albums.
Then she's gonna want every single thing that she puts out there, every album, to go number one. So if she puts out like a country and a pop album, or the pop album plus one that's all features or whatever it is, she's going to want that extra one to be number one as well. So And if they're released at the same time, only one can be number one. The other one would be 2. So I think it just depends on, if it is a double album, how it's packaged.
Yeah.
I think volume 1, volume 2, and I think it's coming. Is that going to be the announcement? I don't know. Is it going to be 1989 whenever we get the double album? I don't know. Are we ever going to get a double album? Yes. Yes. That's it. That's word on clowning. That's word on.
That's the word on Clownelia Street.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? Since we're talking about sports, I don't necessarily know the most about sports. I can tell you, when I played sports as a kid, I played basketball. I don't think I ever scored a basket in basketball. Played football for a number of years. I don't think I ever scored a touchdown in football. Made a few catches. Nothing substantial, though. But listen, everybody, don't let your bad sports career, don't make that believe that you're not going to make it in the sports world, because your boy, me, Nick Adams, was interviewed by Yahoo Sports.
Oh my gosh.
The article is out now. It is titled, "The Taylor Swift Effect. Miss Americana is turning Travis Kelce into America's sweetheart."
Woohoo!
And so I did an interview with a writer named Jeff Eisenberg. It's out now. Google it. You might need a magnifying glass to see my quote, but it is in there. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool talking about Taylor Swift to a sports writer. He was like, okay. When I would give him a long, drawn-out answer, okay.
And this was on Yahoo Sports, right?
Yahoo Sports.
Yeah. Never, ever did I imagine these two worlds coming together.
When we started this podcast, did anybody think our podcast would be mentioned in a Yahoo Sports article?
No.
Can you believe it?
I love it. I love it. That's really, really awesome.
It's been so much fun, though. It's been so much fun to see everybody into Taylor Swift. I love it that everyone's along for the ride now. Welcome. It's so much fun.
All right, that does it for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. Leave us a 5-star rating and a good review, and we would love to see it. Join us next time. We're going to break down Long Live.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.